Hello everybody, welcome to part 5 of this farming plots tutorial. We're gonna get right into it. First I want to explain what we're doing. Let's go to the events, Dirt1. So what we're gonna do is create the script for this field right here, page 1 out of 4, the apply field, and we're also going to create the script for this apply field as well. So let's go to the script editor and create a script called seed 1. Alright, so this is the state at which the soil is hoed, it's already watered, but there is no seed on top. So the character has the option to place a seed, but that's pretty much it. So let's go to data, variable, dirt1 equals tool. Now what this does is it tries to get the ID of the seed. Like for example, the tool ID number for a mushroom is 3. So Dirt1 gets that information. That's how it knows what kind of plant is being planted. Depending on what type of seed you have, like let's say you have a mushroom seed, if you plant that, then this is the line of code that gets that information. So now the game understands that what you're trying to grow is, in fact, a mushroom and not anything else. If that makes any sense. Let's go ahead and change the control. Go to Events, Control, Change. We're going to select Seed 1. The reason why we have to change the target is so that we can make it so that the event is visible, but first we have to target that event. And then we're going to call 2 scripts, seed motion, which I believe is something that we created in part 3 of this tutorial, if I'm not mistaken. So seed motion 1 is the first script that we're going to call. We're going to call another script called subtract seed. So in this order, this is what it does. This line of code gets the ID number of the tool that you're using. So if you're growing turnips, which would be number 4 in this tutorial, that's what it would be, number 4. It might be different in your game. And then it changes the target to the seed event, and then it changes the model of that seed event in this script called seed motion 1, and then it simply subtracts a seed from your inventory. So it might be a little intimidating at first. I'll admit it is to me. It still is. I'm still trying to figure out how this thing works even as I create this tutorial, so I might make a few mistakes here and there, but that's just how it goes. We're gonna copy this and paste it. We're gonna change the name of that script and also change the variable dirt1 to dirt2, change the event to seed2, change seed motion 1 to seed motion 2. You're going to do the same thing, copy and paste this, and change the name, change the variable, change the event, change the scripts that are called. You're going to do that for every single plot. So if you have 100 plots, you're going to create 100 of these seed scripts. Once you're done doing that, create a new type of script called DirtWet, seed 1. This is the state at which the soil is hoed, but it is not wet and it has no seed. So the player has one of two options. They can either water the soil or they can plant a seed on top. But before they do that, we need to check to see what it is that they are equipping. Let's go to script branch condition, variable, tool, tool equals 2. The number 2 for the variable tool corresponds to the watering can. This is basically asking, does the character have a watering can equipped? And if they do, then data flags watered1 equals on. So that just means that if they have a watering can equipped, the soil will be watered. Now we also have to check to see if they have a seed equipped. So let's copy this condition, paste it right at the bottom. Instead of tool is equal to 2, we're going to say tool greater than or equal to 3. 3, in my case, is a mushroom seed. 4, which is greater than 3, is a turnip seed. It might be different in your game, I don't know. You might have strawberry seeds or whatever, but in this example, that's how it is. So it's basically asking, do they have any type of seed, whether it be a mushroom seed, a turnip seed, or any other seed? If they do, then we're going to call a script called seed1. And that's pretty much it. We're going to save that. Now you're going to do the same thing like what you did with the seed scripts. You're going to copy DirtWet /seed1, copy it, paste it, change the name, and change the flag from watered1 to watered2, change seed1 to seed2. Alright, so if you have 100 plots, you're going to create 100 of those. Once you're done with that, we're pretty much done creating scripts for now, for this part of the tutorial. Let's go to the events, go to Dirt1, and right here where it says, this is page number 1 out of 4, in the apply field, we're going to apply DirtWet /seed1. The reason why we're applying this script to this page is because this is the state at which the soil is hoed, but it's not wet and it has no seed. The player has the option to do one of the two things. On page 2 out of 4, this is the state at which the soil is hoed and wet, but it has no seed. So they have the option of placing a seed. The apply for this page is going to be seed1. Alright, so now we're done applying those different scripts. Now what we have to do, change the start. Right here in the start field, you're going to change it to examine. So that just means that if you go up to an event and press the triangle button, then things will start to happen. If it goes through the conditions and it checks out, then it will go to the apply scripts. You're going to do that for all the pages, so page 0, it should say start examine, page 1, start examine, page 2, start examine, page 3, the start should also be examine. On page 4 out of 4, it doesn't really matter, because at this point they can't do anything, because the soil is hoed, wet, and it has a seed on top, so there's nothing more the player can do unless you create fertilizer, which we will not. It's an interesting idea, but we won't do that in this tutorial. That'll be up to you to figure that out. On page 1 out of 4, we're going to create the conditions for this. Now, the conditions here are strictly the conditions determine if the event is visible. That's really all it is. So the first condition is going to say flag watered 1 is off. Now that means that the soil is not watered. So that condition has to be true in order for the event to become visible. The other condition that has to be true is that the soil has to be hoed. So dirt 1 has to be greater or equal to 1. Now I know that symbol right there says greater than. It doesn't say greater than or equal to, but that behaves as greater than or equal to. I know that's kind of confusing. It took me a long time to figure that out. But it's actually saying dirt 1 greater than or equal to. Okay, page 2 is going to say watered 1 is on because the soil, oops, that's the wrong field, my bad. Watered 1 is on because the soil is watered. Dirt 1 should be greater than or equal to 1. I don't know why that symbol says greater than. It really should say greater than or equal to. Alright, page 3 out of 4 will say watered 1 is off. And dirt 1 is greater than or equal to 3. 3 is the seed. Anything greater than 3 is also a seed. That just means that a seed has been planted on the soil. And then 4 out of 4, we have watered 1 is on, so the soil is watered. And also there's a seed on top of the soil, so dirt 1 should be 3 or greater than 3. And that should be it. We're gonna sort of test this out to see if it works. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you're going to do that for all of your dirt events. Now, I shouldn't have made you create all of the dirt events in part 1. I do apologize for that. If I were you, I would just trash all of the dirt events except for dirt 1, because that's the one we worked on. So dirt 2 and anything higher than dirt 2, trash those. Instead, I would recommend to copy dirt 1, paste it, and then change the values. So change the name of the event for 1. Change dirt hoe 1 to dirt hoe 2. Go to page 1 out of 4. Change watered 1 to watered 2. Change dirt 1 to dirt 2. So you can pretty much see what I'm doing here. Change all of the scripts, all of the variables, and all of the flags to the appropriate ones. Make sure you don't skip any fields, because that will cause some serious bugs. I've done that before, and it caused some serious bugs, and it might take a while to fix them if you don't know what's causing it, so make sure you spend that extra time to go through them very carefully. And finally, watered 1, watered 2. And I think that's about it. So you're going to do that not just for Dirt 2, but also Dirt 3 and so on and so forth for as many Dirt events as you have. Now the next thing we're going to do is create an event placement. We're going to place our events. Let's create a new one called Farm. Dungeon database is Farm. Let's go to Edit. The dirt events are going to be not above, not below, but right where the floor is. Select Dirt 1, and right before you place it, you're going to move it up by 1. So you can see at the bottom left it says 1 out of 16. So it should pop out just above the soil. And then right next to that, I'm going to put Dirt 2 right there. For every dirt event, you're going to have a seed event right above it. I would advise not to put the seed event right above it, like right here, for example, because I'm not sure if that will cause bugs. It might. And the reason being is because we want the character to interact with the dirt event first before they interact with the seed event. The dirt event is what allows the character to hoe the soil, water the soil, and put a seed on top. The seed event is what allows them to harvest the plant when it's finished growing, if that makes any sense. I would advise you to put the seed event right maybe 2 blocks higher. So right here, put seed 1 right there. And then right above dirt 2, you're going to put seed 2, and so on and so forth. So if you have, let's say, for example, dirt number 32 over here somewhere, you're going to have seed number 32 right here, or right above that. Let's go ahead and test that. I think we have to make a world organization before we do that, though. Let's go to Graphics, World Organization, create a new one called Farm. Dungeon is Farm. The event placement is called Farm. So make sure that you apply the event placement to your world organization. There are so many times when I don't do that. I forget to do that, and then when I test play, I'm like, how come it's not working? It's because the events are not even in the game. You have to put them in. I go to General Settings. I'm going to get rid of my party. You don't have to do that, but I'm just doing that just because. Change the location to Farm, and then place them right on the farm. Like that. And then test play. Oh wait, no, I forgot. One important detail. You gotta give your party members the tools, such as the hoe, and the watering can, and the seeds. I'm gonna give them one of each. So, turnip seed and a mushroom seed. And let's test play. Whew. A little bit nervous. I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh my gosh, it works. You don't know how relieved I am. Okay, so make sure to equip the hoe, go over the soil, press the triangle button, and it should work. Now what you can do then is you can either equip a watering can or a seed. Turnip seed, let's try that. Alright! It worked. And the turnip seed is gone from my inventory, which is great. Let's try the mushroom seed. Awesome. There's a little bit of a glitch there, I've noticed. You notice how the seed kind of like it starts above and then like you can see it up in the air. Now you can change that in the script if you want to. If you don't like that glitch, which in my opinion, I don't like that, so I would change that. This is all we can do for now. We can't grow the seed because we haven't created that part of the script yet. So this is all we can do. We're gonna create an ability. Let's go to Game, Abilities, create new data. We're gonna call this Next Day. Now the reason why we're creating this is because there's... well, I haven't really created a day and night cycle. So this is one way to do it, is by creating something that simulates the day going by so we can go to the next day. I don't know if you guys are okay with that, but that's just how I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna update that. I'm just gonna give it a name, and we will create the script for the ability called Next Day in the next part of this tutorial. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. I'll see you later.